Honestly, that's fine. So I stopped here this morning. Let's continue. I can't believe I got it. I was still sleepy, man. Anyways. Punishment of the disbelievers. 1 second. Drink some water. As for the disbelievers, they will have the fire of hell, where they will not be allowed to be finished by death, nor will its torment be lightened for them. This is how we reward every stubborn disbeliever. There they will be fervently screaming, "Our Lord, take us out and send us back. We will do good unlike what we used to do." They will be told, "Did we not give you lives long enough so that whoever wanted to be mindful could have done so? And the warner came to you, so taste the punishment, for the wrongdoers have no helper." Denying the Almighty. Indeed, God is the knower of the unseen, of the heavens and the earth. He surely knows best what is hidden in the heart. He is the one who has placed you as successors on earth, so whoever disbelieves will bear the burden of their own disbelief. The disbelievers' denial only increased them in contempt in the sight of their Lord, and it will only contribute to their loss. Useless idols. Ask them, O prophet, have you considered your associate gods, which you invoke besides God? Show me what they have created on earth, or do they have a share in the creation of the heavens? Or have we given the polytheists a book which serves as a clear proof for them? In fact, the wrongdoers promise each other nothing but delusion. God's power, number 8, maintaining the universe. Indeed, God alone keeps the heavens and the earth from falling apart. If they were to fall apart, none but Him could hold them up. He is truly most forbearing, all forgiving. So as to play. Warning to the disbelievers. They swore by God their most solemn oaths that if a warner were to come to them, they would certainly be better guided than any other community. Yet when a warner did come to them, it only drove them farther away, behaving arrogantly in the land and plotting evil. But evil plotting only backfires on those who plot. Wow. Are they awaiting anything but the fate of those destroyed before? You will find no change in the way of God, nor will you find it diverted to someone else. Have they not traveled throughout the land to see what was the end of those destroyed before them? They were far superior in might, but there is nothing that can escape God in the heavens or the earth. He is certainly all-knowing, most capable. Pixie. She's so bored. Allowing time for repentance. If God were to punish people immediately for what they have committed, He would not have a single living being on earth. But He delays them for an appointed term. And when their time arrives, then surely God is all-seeing of His servant. Yeah, God always, gives time for repentance. Next chapter, Yasin. This Meccan chapter. Hello, Corey Gorbut. Welcome to the stream. This Meccan chapter emphasizes the divine nature and purpose of the Quran. The Arab pagans. Hello, Michaela friend. Welcome to the stream. The Arab pagans are reminded of the fate of earlier disbelievers and condemned for following Satan, denying the resurrection, discrediting the Quran, and rejecting the Prophet as a poet. What book is that? This is the Clear Quran, so it's kind of like the Bible of Islam. So Bibles are for Christians, the Quran is for Muslims. It's like our holy book, basically. Similar to the next chapter, some examples of God's wonders of creation are cited to prove his ability to bring the dead back to life. In the name of God, the most compassionate, most merciful. Wake-up call. Yasin, by the Quran, rich in wisdom. You, O Prophet, are truly one of the messengers upon the straight path. This is a revelation from the Almighty, most merciful, so that you may warn a people whose forefathers were not warned and so are heedless. The decree of torment has already been justified against most of them, for they will never believe. It is as if we have put shackles around their necks, up to their chins, so their heads are forced up, and we have placed a barrier before them and a barrier behind them and covered them all up so they fail to see the truth. Who benefits from reminders? It is the same whether you warn them or not. They will never believe. You can only warn those who follow the reminder and are in awe of the most compassionate without seeing him. So give them good news of forgiveness and an honorable reward. It is certainly we who resurrect the dead and write what they send forth and what they leave behind. Everything is listed by us in perfect record. This is so sweet. The three messengers. Give them an example, O Prophet, of the residents of a town when the messengers came to them. We sent them 2 messengers, but they rejected both. So we reinforced the 2 with a third, and they declared, We have indeed been sent to you as messengers. The people replied, You are only humans like us, and the most compassionate has not revealed anything. You are simply lying. The messengers responded, Our Lord knows that we have truly been sent to you, and our duty is only to deliver the message clearly. The people replied, We definitely see you as a bad omen for us. If you do not desist, we will certainly stone you to death, and you will be touched with a painful punishment from us. The messengers said, Your bad omen lies within yourselves. Are you saying this because you are reminded of the truth? In fact, you are a transgressing people. An advocate of the truth. Then, from the farthest end of the city, a man came rushing. He advised, O my people, follow the messengers. Follow those who ask no reward of you, and are rightly guided. And why should I not worship the one who has originated me, and to whom you will be returned? How could I take beside him other gods, whose intercession would not be of any benefit to me, nor could they save me if the most compassionate intended to harm me? Indeed, I would then be clearly astray. I do believe in your Lord, so listen to me. But they killed him. Then he was told by the angels, Enter paradise. He said, If only my people knew of how my Lord has forgiven me and made me one of the honorable. The wicked destroyed. We did not send any soldiers from the heavens against his people after his death, nor did we need to. All it took was one mighty blast, and they were extinguished at once. Oh pity, such beings! No messenger ever came to them without being mocked. Have the deniers not considered how many people we destroyed before them, who never came back to life again? Yet they will all be brought before us. God's sign number 1, the earth. There is a sign for them in the dead earth. We give it life, producing grain from it for them to eat, and we have placed in it gardens of palm trees and grapevines, and caused springs to gush forth in it, so that they may eat from its fruit, which they had no hand in making. Will they not then give thanks? Glory be to the one who created all things in pairs, be it what the earth produces, their genders, or what they do not know. Wow. God's sign number 2, night. There is also a sign for them in the night. We strip from it daylight. Then, behold, they are in darkness. God's sign number 3, the sun and the moon. The sun travels for its fixed term. That is the design of the Almighty, all-knowing. As for the moon, we have ordained precise phases for it until it ends up like an old curved palm stalk. It is not for the sun to catch up with the moon, nor does the night outrun the day. Each is traveling in an orbit of their own. God's sign number 4, mercy at sea. Another sign for them is that we carried their ancestors with Noah in the fully loaded ark and created for them similar things to ride in. If we willed, we could drown them, then no one would be rescued, except by mercy from us, allowing them enjoying for a little while. Stance of the polytheists. Still, they turn away when it is said to them, beware of what is ahead of you in the hereafter, and what is behind you of destroyed nations, so you may be shown mercy. Whenever a sign comes to them from their Lord, they turn away from it. And when it is said to them, donate from what God has provided for you, the disbelievers say to the believers, why should we feed those whom God could have fed if he wanted to? You were clearly astray. Too late for the deniers. And they ask the believers, when will this threat come to pass if what you say is true? They must be awaiting a single blast, which will seize them while they are entrenched in worldly disputes. Then they will not be able to make a last. Nor can they return to their own people. The trumpet will be blown a second time. Then, behold, they will rush from the graves to their Lord. They will cry, woe to us, who has raised us up from our place of rest. This must be what the most compassionate warned us of. The messengers told the truth. It will only take one blast, then at once they will all be brought before us. On that day, no soul will be wronged in the least, nor will you be rewarded except for what you used to do. Reward of the believers. Indeed, on the day the residents of paradise will be busy enjoying themselves. Aww. They and their spouses will be in cool shade, reclining on canopies, couches. They will have fruits and whatever they desire, and peace will be their greeting from the merciful Lord. Reward of the disbelievers. Then the disbelievers will be told, step away from the believers, this day, O wicked ones. Did I not condemn you, O children of Adam, not to follow Satan, for he is truly your sworn enemy, but to worship me alone? This is the straight path, yet he already misled great multitudes of you. Did you not have any sense? This is the hell you were warned of. Hello, Meow, welcome to the stream. Oh my gosh, nice to see you again. This is the straight path, yet he already misled great multitudes of you. Did you not have any sense? This is the hell you were warned of. Burn in it today for your disbelief. On this day we will seal their mouths. Their hands will speak to us, and their feet will testify to what they used to commit. God's power over the deniers. Had we willed, we could have easily blinded their eyes, so they would struggle to find their way. How then could they see? And had we willed, we could have transfigured them on the spot, so they could neither progress forward nor turn back. I will be in your life forever. Aw, that's so sweet of you, Meow. I appreciate that. Was it you who had exams? Actually, no, that was someone else, but, hopefully you're doing good. If not, then how are you? How's it going? And whoever we grant a long life, we reverse them in development. Will they not then understand? The prophet is not a poet. We have not taught him poetry, nor is it fitting for him. This book is only a reminder and a clear Quran to warn whoever is truly alive and fulfill the decree of torment against the disbelievers. God's signs number 5, domesticated animals. Do they not see that we single-handedly created for them, among other things, cattle, which are under their control, and we had subjected these animals to them, so they may ride some and eat others, and they derived from them other benefits and drinks. Will they not then give thanks? This guy, this is what the verse is talking about, this domesticated animal right here. Ingratitude of the deniers. Still, they have taken other gods besides God, hoping to be helped by them. They cannot help the pagans, even though they serve the idols as dedicated guards. So do not let their words grieve you, O prophet. Indeed, we fully know what they conceal and what they reveal. I need to go. That's why. You need to leave the stream? That's fine. Only come to the stream if you are done all your tasks and don't have anything else to do. So, I appreciate you coming anyways. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day, meow. God's power to resurrect. Do people not see that we have created them from a sperm drop? Then behold, they openly challenge us, and they argue with us, forgetting they were created, saying, who will give life to decayed bones? Say, O prophet, they will be revived by the one who produced them the first time. For he has perfect knowledge of every created being. He is the one who gives you fire from green trees, and behold, you kindle fire from them. Can the one who created the heavens and the earth not easily resurrect these deniers? Yet he can, for he is the master creator, all-knowing. All it takes when he wills something to be is simply to say to it, be, and it is. So glory be to the one in whose hands is the authority over all things, and to whom alone you will all be returned. Okay, bye. Be good and get a good night. I'm assuming that means good night, but you too. So, I finished page 250. I could definitely keep going since today's the 13th. I'm on page 253 now. I guess before this I was on $90, $100, $110, $120, $130. I was 20 pages ahead, maybe. So I started page 34 here, 10 pages each. I guess I'll keep going until... Or should I finish this Atomic Habits book? I have a lot of time now that I'm done with my exams. Well, I haven't read this in a while, so I think I'll continue with this instead of this. This was a very failed attempt. I was trying to read like the actual Quran, but I guess I'll have to do that some other time. Today is Saturday. Alright. These are scrap papers, I guess. Alright, so today I'm on chapter 18, so let's do that then. I guess I didn't finish this page. How to find a game where the odds are in your favor. Learning to play a game where the odds are in your favor is critical for maintaining motivation and feeling successful. In theory, you can enjoy almost anything. In practice, you are most likely to enjoy the things that come easily to you. People who are talented in a particular area tend to be more competent at that task and are then praised for doing a good job. They stay energized because they are making progress where others have failed, and because they get rewarded with better pay and bigger opportunities, which not only makes them happier, but also propels them to produce even higher quality work. It's a virtuous cycle. For me, that's cooking for sure. I wish I were better at it though. Pick the right habits and progress is easy. Pick the wrong habits and life is a struggle. How do you pick the right habit? The first step is something we covered in the third law: make it easy. In many cases, when people pick the wrong habit, it simply means they picked a habit that was too difficult. When a habit is easy, you are more likely to be successful. When you are successful, you are more likely to feel satisfied. However, there is another level to consider. In the long run, if you continue to advance and improve, any area can become challenging. At some point, you need to make sure you're playing the right game for your skill set. How do you figure that out? The most common approach is trial and error. Of course, there is a problem with this strategy. Life is short. We don't have time to try every career, date every eligible bachelor, or play every musical instrument. Thankfully, there is an effective way to manage this conundrum, and it is known as the explore/exploit trade-off. In the beginning of a new activity, there should be a period of exploration. In relationships, it's called dating. In college, it's called the liberal arts. In business, it's called split testing. The goal is to try out many possibilities, research a broad range of ideas, and cast a wild net. After this initial period of exploration, shift your focus to the best solution you found, but keep experimenting occasionally. The proper balance depends on whether you're winning or losing. If you are currently winning, you exploit, exploit, exploit. If you are currently losing, you continue to explore, explore, explore. In the long run, it is probably most effective to work on the strategy that seems to deliver the best results about 90 to 80% of the time and keep exploring with the remaining 10 to 20%. Google famously asks employees to spend 80% of the work week on their official job and 20% on projects of their choice, which has led to the creation of blockbuster products like AdWords and Gmail. The optimal approach also depends on how much time you have. If you have a lot of time, like someone at the beginning of their career, it makes more sense to explore, because once you find the right thing, you still have a good amount of time to exploit it. If you're pressed for time, say as you come up on the deadline for a project, you should implement the best solution you've found so far and get some results. As you explore different options, there are a series of questions you can ask yourself to continually narrow in on the habits and areas that will be most satisfying to you. What feels like fun to me but works to others? What feels like fun to me but works to others? The mark of whether you are made for a task is not whether you love it, but whether you can handle the pain of the task easier than most people, when you are enjoying yourself while other people are complaining. The work that hurts you less than it hurts others is the work you are made to do. What makes me lose track of time? Flow is the mental state you enter when you are so focused on the task at hand that the rest of the world fades away. This blend of happiness and peak performance is what athletes and performers experience when they are in the zone. It is nearly impossible to experience a flow state and not find the task satisfying, at least to some degree. Where do I get greater returns than the average person? We are continually comparing ourselves to those around us, and a behavior is more likely to be satisfying when the comparison is in our favor. When I started writing at jamesclear.com, my email list grew very quickly. I wasn't sure what I was doing, well, but I knew the results seemed to be coming faster for me than for some of my colleagues, which motivated me to keep writing. What comes naturally to me? For just a moment, ignore what you have been taught. Ignore what society has told you. Ignore what others expect of you. Look inside yourself and ask, what feels natural to me? When when have I felt alive? When have I felt like the real me? No internal judgments or people pleasing. No second guessing or self criticism. Just feeling of engagement and enjoyment. Whenever you feel authentic and genuine, you are headed in the right direction. To be honest, some of this process is just luck. Michael Phelps and Hicham El Guerrero were lucky to be born with a rare set of abilities that are highly valued by society and to be placed in the ideal environment for those abilities. We all have limited time on this planet, and the truly great among us are the ones who not only work hard but also have the good fortune to be exposed to opportunities that favor us. But what if you don't want to leave it up to luck? What if you can't find a game where the odds are stacked in your favor, create one. Scott Adams, the cartoonist behind Dilbert, says everyone has at least a few areas in which they could be in the top 25% with some effort. In my case, I can draw better than most people, but I'm hardly an artist. And I'm not any funnier than the average stand up comedian who never makes it big, but I'm funnier than most people. The magic is that few people can draw well and write jokes. It's the combination of the two that makes what I do so rare. And when you add in my business background, suddenly I had a topic that few cartoonists could hope to understand without living it. Wow, that's crazy. When you can't win by being better, you can win by being different. By combining your skills, you reduce the level of competition, which makes it easier to stand out. You can shortcut the need for a genetic advantage or for years of practice by rewriting rules. A good player works hard to win the game everyone else is playing. A great player creates a new game that favors their strengths and avoids their weaknesses. In college, I designed my own major, biomechanics, which was a combination of physics, chemistry, and biology and anatomy. I wasn't smart enough to stand out among the top physics or biology majors, so I created my own game. And because it suited me, I was only taking the courses I was interested in. Studying felt like less of a chore. It was also easier to avoid the trap of comparing myself to everyone else. After all, nobody else was taking the same combination of classes, so who could say if they were better or worse? Specializations is a powerful way to overcome the accident of bad genetics. Wow, this is crazy. The more you master a specific skill, the harder it becomes for others to compete with you. Many bodybuilders are stronger than the average arm wrestler, but even a massive bodybuilder may lose at arm wrestling because the arm wrestling champ has very specific strength. Even if you're not the most naturally gifted, you can often win by being the best in a very narrow category. Boiling water will soften a potato, but harden an egg. You can't control whether you're a potato or an egg, but you can decide to play a game where it's better to be hard or soft. You can find a more favorable environment. You can transform the situation from one where the odds are against you to one where they are in your favor. How to get the most out of your genes. Our genes do not eliminate the need for hard work. They clarify it. They tell us what to work hard on. Once we realize our strengths, we know where to spend our time and energy. We know which types of opportunities to look for and which types of challenges to avoid. The better we understand our nature, the better our strategy can be. Biological differences matter. Even so, it's more productive to focus on whether you are fulfilling your own potential than comparing yourself to someone else. The fact that you have a natural limit to any specific ability has nothing to do with whether you are reaching the ceiling of your capabilities. People get so caught up in the fact that they have limits that they rarely exert the effort required to get close to them. Furthermore, genes can't make you successful if you're not doing the work. Yes, it's possible that the ripped trainer at the gym has better genes, but if you haven't put in the same reps, it's impossible to say if you have been dealt a better or worse genetic hand. Until you work as hard as those you admire, don't explain away their success as luck. In summary, one of the best ways to ensure your habits remain satisfying over the long run is to pick behaviors that align with your personality and skills. Work hard on the things that come easy. Chapter summary. The secret to maximizing your odds of success is to choose the right field of competition. Pick the right habit and progress is easy. Pick the wrong habit and life is a struggle. Genes cannot be easily changed, which means they provide a powerful advantage in favorable circumstances and a serious disadvantage in unfavorable circumstances. Habits are easier when they align with your natural abilities. Choose the habits that best suit you. Play a game that favors your strengths. If you can't find a game that favors you, create one. Genes do not eliminate the need for hard work. They clarify it. They tell us what to work hard on. I guess for me, the thing that I want to work hard on is probably cooking. Like, that's the one thing that I wish I were better at because, maybe it's in my genes because everyone in my lineage cooked, right? The boys and the girls. Like, my dad and my mom are both good at cooking, so I need to pick up on that habit and just the habit of studying, cooking, and exercise. I think those are the main goals that I should focus on. We only have 2 chapters left. That's crazy. Wait, what is this? 3rd chapter is the conclusion. Okay. And then the acknowledgement, and then we're done with the book. That's crazy. I don't know if anyone reads the acknowledgement part or like the end, because I clearly don't. Because I never read a book before, like on my own accord, so yeah. I guess I'll finish the book today then. We'll see. But it is getting harder to keep it open though. I will say that. Alright. Let's continue. The Goldilocks Rule. How to stay motivated in life and work. In 1955, Disneyland had just opened in Anaheim, California, when a 10-year-old boy walked in and asked for a job. Labor laws were loose back then, and the boy managed to land a position selling guidebooks for 50 cents apiece. Within a year, he had transitioned to Disneyland's magic shop, where he learned tricks from the older employees. He experimented with jokes and tried out simple routines on visitors. Soon he discovered that what he loved was not performing magic, but performing in general. He set his sight on becoming a comedian. Beginning in his teenage years, he started performing in little clubs around Los Angeles. The crowds were small, and his act was short. That's like me right now. My streaming is so small, like, there's no viewers. He was rarely on stage for more than 5 minutes. Most of the people in the crowd were too busy drinking or talking with friends to pay attention. One night, he literally delivered his stand-up routine to an empty club. That's me right now, literally. It wasn't glamorous work, but there was no doubt he was getting better. His first routines would only last 1 or 2 minutes. But by high school, his material had expanded to include a 5-minute act and, a few years later, a 10-minute show. At 19, he was performing weekly for 21 minutes at a time. He had to read 3 poems during the show just to make that routine long enough. but his skills continued to progress. He spent another decade experimenting, adjusting, and practicing. He took a job as a television writer, and gradually, he was able to land his own appearances on talk shows. By the mid 1970s, he had worked his way into being a regular guest on The Tonight Show and Saturday Night Live. Finally, after nearly 15 years of work, the young man rose to fame. He toured 60 cities in 63 days, then 72 cities in 80 days, then 85 cities in 90 days. He had 18,695 people attend one show in Ohio. Another 45,000 tickets were sold for his 3-day show in New York. He catapulted to the top for his genre and became one of the most successful comedians of his time. His name is Steve Martin. Martin's story offers a fascinating perspective on what it takes to stick with habits for the long run. Comedy is not for the timid. It is hard to imagine a situation that would strike fear into the hearts of more people than performing alone on stage and failing to get a single laugh. And yet Steve Martin faced this fear every week for 18 years. In his words, 10 years spent learning, 4 years spent refining, and 4 years as a wild success. Why is it that some people like Martin stick with their habits, whether practicing jokes or drawing cartoons or playing guitar, while most of us struggle to stay motivated? How do we design habits that pull us in rather than ones that fade away? Scientists have been studying this question for many years. While there is still much to learn, one of the most consistent findings is that the way to maintain motivation and achieve peak levels of desire is to work on tasks of just manageable difficulty. The human brain loves a challenge, but only if it's within an optimal zone of difficulty. If you love tennis and try to play a serious match against a 4-year-old, you'll quickly become bored. It's too easy. You'll never win. You'll win every point. In contrast, if you play a professional tennis player like Roger Federer, hello Bella, welcome back to the stream. Nice to see you again. If you play a professional tennis player like Roger Federer or Serena Williams, you will quickly lose motivation because the match is too difficult. Now consider playing tennis against someone who is your equal. As the game progresses, you win a few points and you lose a few. You have a good chance of winning, but only if you really try. Your focus narrows, distractions fade away, and you find yourself fully invested in the task at hand. What are you reading? So currently I'm reading Atomic Habits. I'm on chapter 20 right now. It's, I think, or it's 18. I guess I'm on chapter 19 since I just started this. Yeah, chapter 19. And yeah, I was reading the Clear Quran before this. So I only have 2 chapters left of this book, which is crazy because before this, I did not read a single book on my own. And yeah, I'm very happy with this new habit that I tried to implement before 2026, and I can't believe I'm finishing this book. And yeah, I think I'll finish it on the stream. Hello, welcome to the stream, Kelly Jones. I'm so smart. Aw, thank you, Bella. But I'm just trying to be someone I want to be. And that is smart. I'm trying to be smart, but I'm not smart yet. I hope so. One day I will be. This is a challenge of just manageable difficulty, and it is a prime example of the Goldilocks rule. The Goldilocks rule states that humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities. Not too hard, not too easy, just right. Martin's comedy career is an excellent example of the Goldilocks rule in practice. Wait, let me underline this because sometimes you gotta apply the Goldilocks rule to whatever you're doing. Each year he expanded his comedy routine, but only by a minute or two. He was always adding new material, but he also kept a few jokes that were guaranteed to get laughs. There were just enough victories to keep him motivated and just enough mistakes to keep him working hard. When you're starting a new habit, it's important to keep the behavior as easy as possible so you can stick with it even when conditions aren't perfect. This is an idea we covered in detail while discussing third law of behavior change. Once a habit has been established, however, it's important to continue to advance in small ways. These little improvements and new challenges keep you engaged. And if you hit the Goldilocks zone just right, you can achieve a flow state. I have a footnote. I have a pet theory about what happens when we reach a flow when we achieve a flow state. This isn't confirmed. It's just my guess. Psychologists commonly refer to the brain as operating in two modes: system 1 and system 2. System 1 is fast and instinctual. Generally speaking, process processes you can perform very quickly, like habits, are governed by System 1. Meanwhile, System 2 controls problem, thinking processes that are more effortful and slow, like calculating the answer to a difficult math problem. With regards to flow, I like to imagine System 1 and System 2 as residing on opposite ends of the spectrum of thinking. The more automatic a cognitive process is, the more it slides towards System 1 side of the spectrum. The more effortful a task is, the more it slides towards System 2. Flow, I believe, resides on the razor's edge between System 1 and System 2. You are fully using all of your automatic and implicit knowledge related to the task while also working hard to rise a challenge beyond your ability. Both brain modes are fully engaged. The conscious and the non-conscious are working perfectly in sync. That's crazy. I wish I could reach flow state. Maybe I am in flow state right now. I don't know. So this is the diagram of the Goldilocks rule. So this is your motivation axis. This is your difficulty axis. You start off with boredom, then reach a level of motivation that increases in difficulty as you increase in motivation. But while you're in between difficulty and motivation, this is the Goldilocks zone. This is where you perform the best. So this is flow state. And then once you decrease in motivation as the task gets more difficult, that's where you reach your failures. That's where it gets too hard for you. I guess since I took an archery class, that was kind of something that I could relate with. The closer targets were something that were too easy for me, and it got bored. But then there was something around, I think, 20 or 30 meters, and that was easier, but like also hard enough so that I could work on it and become better at it. But the ones that were too far was just too much failure. Like I felt a loss in motivation. So yeah, this is my flow state. Alright. A flow state is the experience of being in the zone and fully immersed in an activity. Scientists have tried to quantify this feeling. They found that to achieve a state of flow, a task must be roughly 4% beyond your current ability. In real life, it's typically not feasible to quantify the difficulty of an action in this way, but the core idea of the Goldilocks rule remains: working on challenges of just manageable difficulty, something on the perimeter of your ability, seems crucial for maintaining motivation. Improvement requires a delicate balance. You need to regularly search for challenges that push you to your edge while continuing to make enough progress to stay motivated. Behaviors need to remain novel in order for them to stay attractive and satisfying. Without variety, we get bored, and boredom is perhaps the greatest villain on the quest for self-improvement. Hello, Bella. I still see you. How to stay focused when you get bored working on your goals. After my baseball career ended, I was looking for a new sport. I joined a weightlifting team, and one day an elite coach visited our gym. He had worked with thousands of athletes during his long career, including a few Olympians. I introduced myself, and we began talking about the process of improvement. What's the difference between the best athletes and everyone else? I asked. What do the really successful people do that most don't? He mentioned the factors we might expect: genetics, luck, talent, but then he said something I wasn't expecting. At some point, it comes down to who can handle the boredom of training every day, doing the same lifts over and over and over. His answer surprised me because it's a different way of thinking. It's a different way of thinking about work ethic. People talk about getting amped up to work on their goals, whether it's business or sports or art. You hear people say things like, it all comes down to passion, or you have to really want it. As a result, many of us get depressed. Many of us get depressed when we lose focus or motivation because we think that successful people have some bottomless reserve of passion. But this coach was saying that really successful people feel the same lack of motivation as everyone else. The difference is that they still find a way to show up despite the feelings of boredom. Mastery requires practice, but the more you practice something, the more boring and routine it becomes. Once the beginner gains have been made and we learn what to expect, our interest starts to fade. Sometimes it happens even faster than that. All you have to do is hit the gym a few days in a row or publish a couple of blog posts on time, and letting one day slip doesn't feel like much. Things are going well. It's easy to rationalize taking a day off because you're in a good place. Cute tats. Thank you. That's Pixie. I think he was here early in the stream, but I think he went downstairs to go eat. The greatest threat to success is not failure, but boredom. Wow. We get bored with habits because they stop delighting us. The outcome becomes expected. And as our habits become ordinary, we start derailing our progress to seek novelty. Perhaps this is why we get caught up in a never ending cycle, jumping from one workout to the next, one diet to the next, one business idea to the next. As soon as we experience the slightest dip in motivation, we begin seeking a new strategy, even if the old one was still working. As Machiavelli noted, men desire novelty to such an extent that those who are doing well wish for a challenge as much as those who are doing bad wish for a change as much as those who are doing badly. Perhaps this is why many of the most habit performing products are those that provide continuous forms of novelty. Video games provide visual novelty. Junk food provide Junk foods provide culinary novelty. Each of these experiences offer continual elements of surprise. In psychology, this is known as variable reward. Slot machines are the most common real-world example. A gambler hits the jackpot every now and then, but not at the predictable interval. The pace of reward varies. This variance leads to the greatest spike of dopamine, enhances memory recall, and accelerates habit formation. Variable rewards don't create a craving. That is, you can't take a reward people are uninterested in, give it to them at a variable interval, and hope it will change their mind. But they are a powerful way to amplify the cravings we already experience, but they reduce boredom. Because they reduce boredom. You are so good at reading, could never be me. Aw, thank you. I don't know. I'm good at reading, but also hate reading. Like, I don't utilize my reading ability. But I guess streaming is one way to utilize it because it does keep me motivated to continue reading, and I have a lot of books in mind that I want to read. I think the next book that I want to read is 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think. And I also have a bunch of books that are Islamic, like this Quran translation. I have a few other ones, but I'm not sure if it will relate to the masses because, yeah, it's kind of, for a specific category of people that are religious in my religion. But yeah, I think I will stick a lot to atomic habit type books that are good for everyone, but it's like beneficial. So yeah. The sweet spot of desire occurs at a 50-50 split between success and failure. Half of the time you get what you want, half of the time you don't. You need just enough winning to experience satisfaction and just enough wanting to experience desire. This is one of the benefits of following the Goldilocks rule. If you're already interested in a habit, working on the challenges or just manageable difficulty is a good way to keep things interesting. Of course, not all habits have a variable reward component, and you wouldn't want them to. If Google only delivered a useful search result some of the time, I would switch to a competitor pretty quickly. If Uber only picked up half of my trips, I doubt I'd be using that service much longer. And if I flossed my teeth each night and only sometimes ended up with a clean mouth, I think I'd skip it. Variable rewards or not, no habit will stay interesting forever. At some point, everyone faces the same challenge on the journey of self improvement. You have to fall in love with boredom. We all have goals that we would like to achieve and dreams that we would like to fulfill. But it doesn't matter what you're trying to become better at. If you only do the work when it's convenient or exciting, then you'll never be consistent enough to achieve remarkable results. What is it? Mickey? What's wrong? I don't know why he's crying. Probably because I'm reading too much. I think I'll stop here. I can guarantee that if you manage to start a habit and keep sticking to it, there will be days when you feel like quitting. I have to leave. Thank you so much, Bella Trejo Rosas, for staying in the stream. And yeah, I get it. Like, the stream's been going on pretty long, but thank you for tuning in. Bye. Have a good rest of your day, Bella. When you start a business, there will be days when you don't feel like showing up. When you're at the gym, there will be sets that you don't feel like finishing. When it's time to write, there will be days that you don't feel like typing. But stepping up when it's annoying or painful or draining to do so, that's what makes the difference between a professional and an amateur. Professionals stick to the schedule. Amateurs let life get in the way. Professionals know what is important to them and work toward it with purpose. Amateurs get pulled off course by the urgencies of life. David Kane, an author and meditation teacher, encourages his students to avoid being fair weather mediators. Similarly, you don't want to be a fair weather athlete or a fair weather writer or a fair weather anything. When a habit is truly important to you, you have to be willing to stick to it in any mood. Professionals take action even when the mood isn't right. They might not enjoy it, but they find a way to put the reps in.
He will get his food at 8:30 p.m.
He's already meowing. He wants it 2 hours early. Aww.
Full of poop.
He just woke up from the longest nap of his life.
You just woke up from the longest.
I did too, yeah. We shared the same nap.
What did you eat?
Nothing.
Food's ready.
Thank you. I'll be done in a few minutes. So, David Kane, an author and meditation teacher, encourages his students to avoid being fair weather amateurs. Similarly, you don't want to be fair weather athlete or fair weather writer or fair weather anything. When a habit is truly important to you, you have to be willing to stick to it in any mood. Professionals take action even when the mood isn't right. They might not enjoy it, but they find a way to put the reps in. There have been lots of sets that I haven't felt like finishing, but I've never regretted doing the workout. There have been a lot of articles I haven't felt like writing, but I've never regretted publishing on schedule. There have been a lot of days I've felt like relaxing, but I've never regretted showing up and working on something that was important to me. The only way to become excellent is to be endlessly fascinated by doing the same thing over and over. You have to fall in love with boredom. Here's a chapter summary. The Goldilocks rule states that humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities. The greatest threat to success is not failure, but boredom. As habits become routine, they become less interesting and less satisfying. We get bored. Anyone can work hard when they feel motivated. It's the ability to keep going when work isn't exciting that makes the difference. Professionals stick to the schedule. Amateurs let life get in the way. This line is pretty crazy to me because I do not want to be an amateur, but I am one. I do let life get in the way. But I'm hoping to stick to the schedule of reading at least. So, this is the last chapter. And we're done for the day. Thank you for everyone who has stayed in the stream so far, and see you guys later. Bye!